Welcome to Talk of the Town Through the Years, highlighting articles from the weekly Menomonee Falls News. Today's featured articles from February 1935 to 1965. February 21st, 1935. Menomonee Falls is just large enough to have something of a public character going on practically every night in the week, and so small that it's difficult to have two doings going on the same date and make both a success. Some years ago, these things were taken care of by registering such doings at a central point to avoid such conflict. The system is a great convenience to the public as well as to organizations who wish to put on programs. Kenneth Eckert, assistant cashier at the Farmers and Merchants Bank, has generously volunteered to keep such a record of dates for the convenience of the public without asking any compensation for his services. In order to make this most effective, the schools, churches, and other organizations who contemplate having doings should report promptly the date and hour of any affair of a public nature. This will greatly aid in avoiding conflicts and aid any affair of a public nature a success. February 15th, 1945, Hawaii.
Dear PSO, I received your last edition of Ammunition, but couldn't write to you sooner because I just didn't get the time. I also got the Falls News today, and I'm glad to get it again. Some of the boys here with me read it too, and like it a lot. The article that interested me the most was the one about Dennis Ailey's experiences in Europe, and he really deserves the swell write-up he got. The town can rightly be proud of him. Speaking of boys from the hometown, I finally met one of the boys over here that I went to school with. It was Eddie Schoen, and I met him a week ago Saturday when I was in town. He is the first one I met from Menomonee Falls since I got over here, and I haven't seen him since we were at Great Lakes, so it really was a pleasant surprise, and we had a nice long talk. Since I wrote to you last, I finally got around to bowl a few games, but didn't do so well bowling without shoes, because we can't bowl in street shoes. The first series I had 406, which I should not even mention, but the next one I had 124, 156, and 179 for 459, which was some improvement. But it really doesn't make a difference to me what I bowl here, and it's lots of fun anyway, and keeps me in practice for when I get back to the league back home and Held's new alleys, which I'm anxious to see. Outside of bowling, I guess there isn't much more news from here, and I'm not doing much for excitement. I use some of my spare time studying so I can hold the rate I have and maybe better myself later on if I get the chance. It's worth the time I spend on it anyway. I don't go into town much anymore because it kind of gets old seeing the same things for 6 months now, and these Hawaiian girls don't interest me, and I guess they feel the same towards sailors. I cut out drinking altogether lately, but I will be glad to get a few good old Schlitz or other good old Milwaukee beers when I get back. The mail from home comes in regular, so that always keeps me in good spirits getting the news from home and know everything is going well. Except, of course, the unanimous complaints about the snow around the hometown, and looks like I missed a bad winter this year, but I hope it's the last Wisconsin winter I miss. I'll have to close now. It's time to go to bed again. I'm writing this at the depot after work, and it's 2 a.m. now, so I'll sign off wishing you all a lot of luck, and thanks again for everything. Yours truly, Herb Litzo.
February 3rd, 1955. Joseph Reilly was elected Fire Chief of the Menomonee Falls Volunteer Fire Department in its regular meeting Tuesday, February 1st. Other officers elected are First Assistant Robert Johnson, Second Assistant Henry Lozer, Secretary Harry Hart. Trustees are Walter Bast, Philip Wick, and Henry Lozer. Arnold Drace, retiring from chieftainship after 22 years, was presented with a gold wristwatch by members of the department. Visibly touched, Mr. Drace pulled out a pocket watch, telling the group he never had a wristwatch, having used his pocket watch since leaving high school. The watch was engraved with the greetings of the department. There are now 41 members of the fire department, with 34 being present at the last regular meeting. One action taken Tuesday night was the final payment on the new fire truck. Total cost being about $13,000, none of which came from village tax funds. February 4th, 1965. Starter Bill Pierce fired his gun to get the 10 to 11-year-old skaters on their way at the Kiwanis Ice Carnival in Menomonee Falls Sunday. Winner of the event was Robert Hendrickson with a time of 28 seconds. Despite the frigid temperatures, both contestants and spectators turned out in great numbers. That's our show for this month. Thanks for tuning in. Join us next time for Talk of the Town Through the Years on Falls Cable Access.